Hello, I hope you're having a great day. So, exciting news. The modern fertility results are in. So, it took about 9 days to get it, so not too bad, especially with, a weekend in there and stuff. So, about 9 days to get the results. It came right to my email. So, I just opened it. So, let's go over it together. Here we go. All right. So, we're going to go through this together. I'm just going to kind of show you what this all looks like. So when you open up, you get to the home screen. So basically, here we go. I am not tech savvy. So we get to the home screen and this is what we see. So it just kind of asks some questions and stuff. Then we go over to the results. So as we look at the results, it kind of shows us everything that was done, of what happened, my personalized report, all of this stuff, all through here. And then I kind of get a summary and all that. But we're going to come back to here. But where I want to go is reports. This kind of tells us some more information. So I got 14 reports. And this one first starts with my thyroid health. I've kind of struggled with that a little bit. So let's talk about thyroid health. So it talks about how the thyroid plays a major role in reproductive health, and it can influence the menstrual cycle, fertility, and future pregnancies. So it also has a big effect on metabolism, mood, heart, and bones. So my results are, so my TSH and FT4, so these are TSH is produced in the brain that signals to the thyroid to produce other hormones like FT4. So FT4 is produced in the thyroid and supports metabolism and thyroid health. So I am within normal range, and they don't suggest that I have a thyroid imbalance. So I am all good as far as TSH. So let's go back to the reports and go on to the next one. Let's talk about ovarian reserve. So what they test is AMH, FSH, and E2, which mine all look to be normal. So AMH suggests that I have average number of eggs for my age. The number of eggs in my ovaries ties into my overall reproductive window. So the average number of eggs can mean a typical number of time for getting pregnant, and they'll walk through the details here with us. So AMH means that I have the average reproductive window compared to other women my age. So even though the AMH is normal, it's important to know that it can't predict chances of getting pregnant naturally. It only takes one egg and one sperm after all. So can't really predict what's going to happen, but it just tells us that AMH is working and that I have good levels of AMH and that it should all be good, especially for my age when compared to other women. Actually, they had two other ones, FSH and E2. So let's see if those were on here too. So AMH. So the ovarian reserve, this suggests that the reserve refers to the total number of eggs in ovaries. So hopefully mine is all good. That's what it's saying. It looks like. It doesn't look like there's FSH here and E2. But let's move on and see what else there is. Maybe they're down here a little bit. So let's talk about ovulation. So we have ovarian reserve. Now we're going to talk about ovulation. So, of course, ovulation is essential for getting pregnant. So it looks like I am within normal range. As in, everything should be going the way it's supposed to. Ovulation should be occurring the way it's supposed to. So that all looks good. So far, so good, which is exciting. So let me see what else. Let's go back to AMH here. Oh, this is where more of the results is. So I'm just navigating this along with you. So I'm trying to figure out what's happening here too. So my AMH is a 2.01, which is normal range. and then they will kind of show you what it all looks like. And these AMH levels can be influenced by birth control. So if you took this test and you're on birth control, your AMH levels could be different. Weight changes and medical treatments and surgeries can also affect the ovaries. Smoking is also known to decrease AMH. So mine is normal for my age. That means there's no red flags. And we're working with the normal amount of eggs for my age. So AMH is a hormone produced by granulosa cells. Granulosa cells surround your eggs in the follicles. What are follicles? They're little fluid-filled sacs in your ovaries that house and release eggs. High AMH may be a sign that you have a high egg follicle count. Lower AMH may be a sign that you have lower egg follicle count. We'll walk you through this, and they walk through like what can all happen and stuff, which is really cool that they kind of tell you, oh, these are your levels, but then they give you the background of what does it mean, because sometimes I'm like, what AMH, what does that really mean? So let's talk about FSH and E2. This is the one that I was looking at earlier. So FSH and E2, so both of mine are normal, and again, the drop down menu tells you the range and shows you the range. So even though mine are normal, they want to make sure that I keep tabs on these every year. So normal FSH levels are reassuring because they can indicate that you have normal ovarian reserve, which is awesome. It's important to know that the hormone AMH can detect ovarian changes a bit earlier in life. This is because FSH, which is follicle stimulating hormone, usually changes closer to menopause. We recommend checking in on both hormones to keep track of your ovarian reserve. So they check FSH along with E2 because a high E2 level sometimes suppresses FSH. Since I have normal estrogen, this isn't the case for me. So FSH is follicle stimulating hormone. Is a hormone produced by the pituitary gland in your brain. It's responsible for growing follicles, which house your eggs, and preparing an egg for ovulation. If your body has to create too much FSH to get things going, it could be a sign that the number of eggs is decreasing. So what is the E2? Estradiol, or E2, is a hormone produced by the ovaries, the adrenal gland, and the placenta during the pregnancy. Among other duties, E2 plays a role in ovulation and maintaining the eggs in the ovaries. During the follicular phase, or the first half of your menstrual cycle, your ovaries secrete estradiol, triggering a series of pretty amazing events that induce ovulation. After ovulation, estradiol teams up with another hormone called progesterone to prep the uterus for implementation. We check FSH along with E2 because a high E2 level can sometimes suppress FSH. So there's a little bit on those two hormones. Let's see. E2, luteinizing hormone, LH. So again, this is another one they like to check every year. Again, mine is normal. And LH, or luteinizing hormone, is a gonadotrophic hormone produced in the pituitary gland. Its major job is to regulate the length and the sequence of your menstrual cycle and ovulation. So that does a pretty simple job. Pretty to the point there. Let me see. PRL. Mine is actually high. So again, here is the range. So my PRL is high. So I need to talk to the doctor about this, it is saying. So PRL is high. This means that my body may not be getting the go-ahead to ovulate normally, or that my uterine lining may not be as well prepared as it could be for embryo to successfully implant. So it talks about irregular periods and nipple discharge. Go see a doctor, but I don't have any of that. So why could the levels be high? There are a number of things that rise prolactin levels, strenuous exercise, lack of sleep, stress, antidepressants, painkillers, cysts on the pituitary gland can also play a role. The only thing that I really have is lack of sleep and stress. Other than that, I don't have any of the other stuff, so I'm going to have to talk to my doctor for sure about that one. So the PRL is a prolactin, is a hormone released by the pituitary gland that stimulates milk production and pauses ovulation after having a baby, which helps prevent you from getting pregnant while nursing. So we got to talk to the doctor about the PRL, that's for sure. So let's go back to TSH and FT4 and see what that says a little bit more in depth. Again, those both are normal for me. So it means the thyroid is likely functioning as expected, but it's something that can fluctuate and kind of needs to be watched as well. So thyroid is related to fertility and pregnancy. Certain thyroid imbalances can cause menstrual cycle irregularities. Also can cause imbalances during pregnancy that are associated with miscarriage, preterm birth, abnormal mental development, and thyroid disorders in babies. So it says, since my TH level is 3.03, it's important to know that doctors often monitor and even treat TSH levels above 2.5 before trying to conceive. Monitoring is also important during pregnancy. That's because the specific TSH levels that are advisable change. So below 2.5 in the first trimester of pregnancy and 3.5 in the third trimester. So my level is a 3.03, although they're calling that, back up here, normal. What this is also saying is that if it's above 2.5, doctors may want to really try to make sure that they treat before conceiving. So TSH is produced by the pituitary gland. It stimulates the thyroid gland to produce thyroid hormones. If the thyroid isn't producing enough thyroid hormone, TSH levels can rise to kick the thyroid into gear. And if the thyroid is producing too much thyroid, TSH levels drop to balance things out. Excuse me. Because of this important function of TSH, it provides a picture of the overall health of the thyroid. So it also has implications for functions like fertility, lots of other things like heart rate, skin, mood, how tired, hungry you feel. Women being treated for infertility, fertility, doctors test TSH because that usually plays a big role. FT4, free thyroxone. It's produced by the thyroid gland, and measuring it can help assess the general health of your thyroid. It helps control the rate of which your body expands energy. Because FT4 is produced directly by the thyroid as a result of TSH stimulation, doctors may test FT4 with TSH, determine if there's a thyroid disorder. So there's those two hormones, TSH and FT4. Now let's go into, let's see what T says. I don't know what T is. Oh, T, testosterone, duh. It's a good idea to check testosterone every year as well. So mine is normal. That means testosterone levels shouldn't affect my ability to get pregnant. So testosterone, or T, is a hormone that is secreted by ovaries and adrenal glands. It aids in the growth, maintenance, and repair of reproductive tissue. So adequate amount of T will make sure that reproductive health is good. It also supports the growth and maturation of follicles, which is very important. And they also make ovarian cells more sensitive to FSH, which stimulates the follicle growth. This happens because androgens create more FSH receptors on the surface of the ovarian cells. So for this reason, many fertility doctors think about testosterone in patients undergoing IVF or egg freezing. So they give a bunch of more stuff, more references, more about tests and that kind of thing, which I think is pretty awesome. So you can go through a bunch of stuff. They also talk about movement and how movement will help and making sure that you're moving and you're getting exercise. They talk about ovulation, ovarian reserve, egg freezing, which is awesome, egg freezing and IVF. So, and based on your numbers, your hormone numbers, and your age. It kind of will tell you like what's your likelihood of everything being done and how it would happen, and how many eggs can be frozen and retrieved during an IVF cycle, which I think is pretty cool, kind of telling you. And this is all personalized. It's all based on me and my numbers, which is pretty cool. And then you go on to plan. And in the plan, it's pretty awesome too, because it talks about testing schedule and how you should get tested again and how often you should be tested. So this talks about a third test. And then what I really liked about this too is healthy tips. So you get like prenatal vitamins, how much water you should be drinking, and glass water bottles versus plastic, caffeine, eliminating your alcohol consumption, exercising, make healthy food choices, avoid secondhand smoke, and then know the link between weight and fertility. So like this is just awesome. Like it just really gives you a ton of information about how to really make sure that your fertility is on track. You can join the community, which is like a support. So it helps you find a clinic and sperm donors as well. So look at like this stuff is freaking awesome. So order your sperm, how long does it take? Like it lets you know everything and what to expect. I think that's the biggest thing is what to expect. So genetic testing, medications, like understanding the options, tracking your cycle. So again, this is just pretty awesome information and what to expect and what happens and how to adjust your plan and all that good stuff too. So ordering your next test. Again, this test was $159. And yeah, it's great for the test, but then, I mean, you get all of this information as well. So let's see what more says. So you can shop, you could get your account and gift a test and all that stuff too. So this is basically everything here in modern fertility. It is amazing. It talks about single parent. Like seriously, this is awesome. So for $159, you get quite a bit of information, and you get a whole plan. You can gift it to people, all that good stuff. So I really recommend this. I've really, really enjoyed it. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know, and I will answer any of the questions that I can as soon as I can. I hope you're having a great day. That is it for Nap Time Stories. Keep on dreaming.